Go.
Hey everyone, Lachelle back again. So we were going to talk about the NCA. The NCA was a conference that we had just gone to, and basically the NCA is the only trade organization representing U.S. candle companies, manufacturers, and suppliers. And it serves as a leading technical authority on candle manufacturing science and safety. Yes, I did just read that off of something. I wanted to make sure that I got it right because the NCA is a very, very important resource for all of us. From the littlest little to the biggest bigs, it protects us. It protects our rights. It protects our safeties. It is very important. For those of you that want more information on what the NCA is, go to candles.org. You're going to see there that it is a pretty hefty price to join, even at the lowest levels. It really wasn't designed, it wasn't designed for the small candle makers. It really was something in its original form that was designed for bigger people, but that does not mean that it doesn't have benefits for all of us. And honestly, if you can get into it, it's something that you want to strive for. You want to achieve that goal at some point, possibly. If not, that's what we're here for too, is that we really want you to know what's going on and to benefit from what is going on with all this incredible research around us. So we did it. We went back to the conference after 20 some years of not having been there, not having time, not having strength or resources, but we went back. And so it was in fabulous Las Vegas. It was a very interesting experience after like not having been out of the house for like 20 years again. But we did go, and it was amazing. I have dealings with a lot of these folks. I consider a lot of them friends. They are amazing. And the NCA is a place that everybody comes together. They put everything aside and they come together because their ultimate goal is to create a better environment for candles. There were lots of biggies there. So in the candle industry, there were also candle suppliers there as well. So basically our agenda, it was 3 packed days from the three days for us, really 2 days for us. I mean, it starts out with like a golf tournament registration, membership committees, issues committees. These are all kinds of things that people can get into if they want to. These are not things that I'm in at this point. Grace, you've probably seen Grace around. She has now gotten onto the ASTM standards committee.
Separate organization.
It is a separate organization from the NCA, but they do collaborate and work together. So she is now on the board for for product safety standards. So not board, you're not on the board.
It's a subcommittee.
Go ahead, Grace, just say it quick.
The Candle Products Subcommittee of the Consumer Products Committee.
Yes.
So I am going to be a part of reviewing standards, helping to develop new standards as necessary, and anything else they want me to do.
And we are so incredibly proud of Grace and her commitment and coming from us. So I'm just overjoyed with that. So that's amazing. But okay, so getting into this. So the first night was really the newcomers reception and the welcome reception after like all the meetings and things. So sadly, and I'm very sorry, it was kind of rude on our part. We missed welcoming newcomers, and I guess I am technically a newcomer because I had never joined before. I had gone to the trade shows and things I had gone to the meetings before too, but I was never a member. I went as a non-member. Oh, and note to anybody that does want to do this, become a member, and then going to the conference is a lot cheaper. And that's not really known, and I didn't know that my first time around. And so we are now proud members, and we went to all of the things. So you get to go to all of the meetings and hear everything that's going on, and you get to go to the trade show, and you can meet the different vendors and things. The reason that we missed the newcomers reception is because we were doing research. So I don't get out to the desert a lot. So the reason that Grace and I missed the newcomers reception was for a very good reason. We actually were doing research. We ended up going out to Red Rock and we're not really desert people. I haven't been out to a desert in so long. My friend and I, we used to travel all over the country, but this time we went out with purpose, and we had such an amazing experience. We ended up going out into a little area behind the gift shop where they have tortoise pens set up, and in doing so, a woman comes up to us and she's like, "Smell this." I'm not even kidding. Like randomly, just like, "Smell this." It's like, it's for the tortoises. And I'm like, okay, great. But it was the most amazing smell, and it got me really excited. So then I started having to like smell all the plants around there. So we came up with quite a few different plants that we are very excited for, and we will be sending plant samples out to various fragrance houses in the hopes of recreating some of these new scents. So it was for a very good reason. We were doing research. So I'm sorry. So we did make it to the welcome reception, and in the welcome reception, as you can expect, everyone is there, and people don't really know each other yet. So everybody's open and nice, and you're all shaking hands and just kind of getting to know each other. And it's just such a mixed bag of personalities, and it was really cool. I hadn't been to one in so long. The next day there was a breakfast, which I missed, and then we got right into the meat of it. The first thing on the agenda was the future of fragrance, digital tools, AI and fragrance. Oh my gosh, if you're like me, this scares the bejeebies out of you. And my takeaway from this was AI is here. I mean, you've all seen it in Chat GPT, thank you. We've all seen it. We've all experienced it. We need to learn how to use it as a tool in our industry and not be afraid of it. From what I learned from this, even there's some technology that's going to be used to artificially create scents with input, and even the perfumers are a little wigged out about this. They're a little afraid of it, but they too are learning that they need to use this as a tool and not as a be-all end-all result. So that was my main takeaway from that. Even as little people, like learning how to incorporate some of these apps possibly into your website to help people find what they're looking for. Like that's a really positive way that we can use AI. So that was one of the things. The next workshop was shining a light on wax certificate analysis. Now, this is not something that most of you folks are ever going to have any idea what's going on with it, but there are various standards that are set up and ways of testing that we see. And so we're given this certificate every time we get in a shipment of wax or what have you. And there's a range that the product that we're getting has to fall into. That range, especially for wax, can be very wide for some things like color of the wax. So the color of the wax can change drastically from lot to lot. That has, in most cases, it has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of the wax or what the wax is going to do for scent throw. But if you're a bigger candle maker, or if you're somebody that only does white candles and you really count on having them being that pristine white color, you may not know what your color of your wax is going to be from test to test or from batch to batch. So if it is something, as you're growing especially, that might be something that you need to work with directly with a wax manufacturer to talk about those things. As a littler person, you're kind of at the mercy of whatever is out there. And you really have to depend on your supplier being on top of it and making sure, above all else, that the scent throw at the very least is going to be the same. Whether or not wet spots and color occur, that is a slightly different thing. That could still fall within this range and be okay on paper, but may have an effect on how your candles look. Anyway, and again, we can do more on these things later as individuals. Then day of breaks, they redid something. The expo was amazing. So Grace is doing one of these. Oh my gosh, it's like a mind blower. But it's like all of the industry players. Well, not all, but a lot of the industry players are there. There are people from Germany and Italy and Germany. There's South America and just incredible. This isn't even the International Candle Association. This was us, and they came to represent, and you know, trade, and my mind is just blown still that these people all are either candle makers, candle suppliers, or machinery people. And so a lot of them are doing the same thing, but they respect each other. They are learning from each other, and putting the good of the industry above everything. So it's really kind of amazing. So yes, I talked to a lot of different people, learned a lot of different things, got to see some old friends, and just had a great time. It is one of those times where it's just wonderful. So we did that, and then the next day, okay, so following day, we had the first thing we get to, well, we had breakfast, and then we get to wake up to the ASTM meetings standard. So brain has to start working immediately in the morning. They were going over some things, and everybody got to actually see what goes on behind the scenes for some of their stuff. And if you are a member of ASTM, which you can be for $115, oh, I'll just say a little bit about that. This is something that I recommend all candle makers to have. You can get the set of standards for ASTM. You can get them for free if you join ASTM. And so I believe it's $115 to either get the standards or to join ASTM. And you can even have a say in what's going on, and you get a free set of the standards. So everyone that can, I want you to go take a look at ASTM, because these are the folks that are leading the charge in safe candle making. They're giving you the standards on how to test burn a candle, what you're looking for in glassware. There's so much information on there, and taking a step back. For those of you that don't know what ASTM is, basically ASTM are standards that are set upon the industry by the industry. They are not laws. But, as I've been told, if you were actually to go into a court of law and you wanted to say something about the industry, the judge is going to basically ask you, why didn't you follow the standards that were set forth by your industry? So I'm not a lawyer, but basically these do act as the governing principles, the governing laws of the industry. And if you don't follow them, there could be a world of hurt that comes down on you. Yeah. So Grace is over there going,
money,
yeah.
money, money.
So yeah. So the other weird thing about the standards is that we're not allowed to just verbatim tell you what they are. This is a paid thing, and so you do have to pay to be a part of the organization to get the standards. There's a little bit of a disconnect with the rest of the industry, because if it's something we're supposed to follow, we should, in my opinion, get it for free to be able to know what we're supposed to do. And so that's why we really work hard to know what the standards are, so that we are personally selling you safe products that then you don't have to worry about it. But the standards are things as candle makers you need to know. You've probably seen the labels with the little pictograms on them. That comes from ASTM. You now know what those pictograms are because you see them on all of the different labels. But most of you did not actually know where they came from, or why you were supposed to use them. Yeah, our advice is to follow ASTM standards. So basically, the advice that we give as a company follows the ASTM standards. So if you are not able to get the standards yourself, what we are trying to give you is what is on the standards. So sometimes we get from people, you're too hard. You make things too hard. It's like, no, we're actually just following the set of standards that we know about for candle making and making things safer. And there were some biggies in the ASTM standards that they're really focusing on. So right now, NCA, working with ASTM, are working very hard to get unsafe items off the market. Right now, you're seeing trends out there of botanicals and candles. Those are not safe, sprinkled on top. You're also seeing wine bottles. That is not an ASTM standard glassware. So ASTM, along with working with NCA, are working to report people like that on Etsy, to get those products off the market, to get individuals contacted about the products not being safe. So they are working diligently to try to set a better playing field for everyone. So so that led into what most people are excited about was the keynote presentation. Top lifestyle trends influencing the future of candles and home fragrances. This was presented by Mallory Huron of Fashion Snoops, and she was amazing. She gave this presentation like all in one breath, and she knows her stuff, and she is amazing. So she had there were 4 main categories, and we're going to do another video on this later. But there were 4 main categories, and within those categories were, I guess, micro trends within the categories. My main takeaway from this was, do not get freaked out about it. You cannot follow every single trend. As a candle maker, if you are interested in trends, basically pick your trend and follow that. Do not try to do everything that's out there. You will drive yourself crazy. But if you pick what you like and you create something within that, you're going to be a much saner person. I'm just like, how does this all go together? And then I actually got to talk to her afterwards. She's really awesome. And yeah, she was just like, yeah, you can't do it all. It's like, well, and it's kind of like a, yeah, okay moment. So after that, then we had the Hall of Fame award presentation and the key committee updates. And it really was awesome to see so many different people being acknowledged, people that have been doing this since the start of the NCA. The next day, let's see, we had the evolution of wax quality and its importance to candle performance. This was basically pretty much all about paraffin. I actually took this time to have a bunch of meetings that I was supposed to have. So I didn't get to listen to most of it. I did end up getting in on the end of it. Grace was there. It was about paraffin and how it's evolved over time, how it's getting cleaner, it's better. So the standards are trying to make this product safer and safer as they learn more and more about the potential harmful effects of paraffin. A lot of the toxins that were in it, carcinogens that were in it, they're working to have those eliminated. So then we had a break, and then we had another fun one. It was Aileen. It's Aileen Leads. And so Aileen is a bigger candle company, and they were talking about the workplace and how so he started out basically saying that they had a toxic workplace, and if you had looked on Glassdoor, they were getting tons of negative reviews. And so he was affected by this and worked very hard to change the culture. And so my takeaway from this is, not only do we have to make an incredible product, we have to make an incredible work situation. And when we care about people, when we put their needs as something of a priority, they're going to take ownership, and they're also then going to make a better product. And so we need to have a better product to support the people. We need to have the people to support the product. And it really all goes together. And so he gave a really touching talk about how those are involved. And he gave different examples of how his company now works to help people. And it was 3,000 people you affect. Like, if you can affect like one person and have a good outcome, that then multiplies and has good effects on so many other people. So it was a wonderful thing to see and hear about. Hopefully we try to do that here at Candle Cocoon.
Yeah, she's pretty good about it.
Okay, anyway. On sustainability. Now this, of course, is a passion of mine. Everything that we try to do here at Candle Cocoon, we try to have everything centered around being truly sustainable, being truly environmental, not just greenwashing things. And so it was wonderful to see how this is trying to be represented in the industry. One of the things that got me really excited, Jack Contes from ARC International gave a really great talk about the things that they're doing in the world of glass. And I don't know if it was him or his company, has developed a program where they actually will recycle post-consumer glassware and reuse it. I need to talk to him again and find out if they were able to turn glass in dirty and then they have a system to reuse it, because that's a game changer, quite honestly. Because right now, because I'm thinking, I'm in Madison, we have a pretty good recycling program here. People are not going to do the extra step of cleaning it out and recycling it, but only 25% of the glass actually gets recycled. So if we could have our customers turn in dirty glassware to us, and then we could turn it into them and get it recycled, that's amazing. That's amazing. And that's something real, that's something doable, and I'm going to be looking into that more. The other person that talked was Jim Hall from Mercury Plastics, and plastic companies are notoriously plastic companies. And so one of the first things he admitted is that single-use plastic bags need to be gotten rid of. That was one of the first things out the door. So I very much appreciate that coming from a plastics guy. He did admit he's a plastics guy. This is where he's coming from, right? So, in reality, every single plastic is recyclable. He can recycle everything. Yeah, everything can be recycled, but they're not all good plastics. Some leach off more toxins than others. And then the communities that are involved have to actually recycle these things. So whether they can be recycled and whether they do get recycled are honestly two different things. And so he went through the list of plastics, and like in his company, they recycle everything. I think the percentage was 97% of everything in-house gets recycled. So if plastics get deformed on the manufacturing, they just get chopped up and they just reuse them again, and they go out. He's not doing post-consumer, I don't believe, but it can be done. It's just not being done. Only like 3 to 5% of all plastics get recycled. And so this is definitely an area that we need to do better. I'm very excited about something from them that they have. I'm not going to say, actually. I'm going to leave you wanting more on that one. But anyway, yeah, we do. This is how we collaborate. This is how we learn. This is how we grow. But I'm also not going to give away all my secrets that I'm working on. So that pretty much wraps up an overview of everything. That was much longer than I thought it was. I am going to try to break this apart because I think there's some really valuable things. I think that everybody wants to especially know more about the future. So thanks, everyone. It's great.